Hello everybody, welcome back to Cape Rugby TV Wednesday nights. Of course, bringing you the very best of club rugby. We'll take a look at Varsity Cup, we'll take a look at the Community Cup, Super 15 and several other exciting events, of course, in the world of rugby. Look out for some great competitions. Evox is back in the mix this week, offering you 2 tickets to go watch the Stormers take on the Chiefs. So keep your cell phones handy. On the panel with me this evening is the famous Morgan Newman. Hello Morgs.
How's it, Japes? How you doing?
I'm always good.
Good.
The more rugby we got, the better. Jerome Paarwater, hoe gaan met jou meneer?
Baie goed JP, lekker om weer terug te wees.
Jy lyk fris?
Ja.
Sal hy Kenia koffie?
Ja, vars lug daar so. Jy bietjie baie na bo in aan die hemel so is. Lekker vars lug.
Ek moet onthou om te gaan as daai die geval is.
So in die naaste wie jy aankom.
Iemand anderste wat naby aan die hemel is, Mr. H, hoe gaan met jou?
Baie goed, Deppie, baie goed.
Maar jy
Ja, baie na aan die hemel, maar het kan aan die hel ook wees. Het is so warm deesdae.
Nee, ek dink jy's redelik veilig. Jy het vir ons al op 'n nommer heel wat gesê dat jy met die helm gebore is.
Okay.
So nee, ons vertrou dat jy nog veilig is en dat jy dan wel 'n paar shows nog met ons kan uitsien.
But just to get to the heat, you know, Saturdays, Monday nights, it's the same.
It's
There's no
unbelievable.
let off.
Yeah, no, it's been very hot. It's been very hot. Let's take a look now. Let's get things started. Of course, Varsity Shield, Varsity Cup. That is our first feature of Cape Rugby TV. We bring you those clubs in the Western Province club rugby space that are playing in those 2 tournaments, just to share the rugby with you. Right, of course, it was a big match over the weekend. Let's take a look at the result, at least on Monday night. Let's take a look at those results then. There you see KZN beating TUT 10 points to 9, and at home it was a home ground advantage for FNB UWC as they lost by 9 points to FNB CUT. Jerome, let's go straight to you. It was very hot on Monday night. It was a tough game. CUT guys were up there. What do you make of the game?
Now I must say that CUT came out and they were really firing and they sort of almost bullied the UWC guys, which was a bit unexpected for them because normally UWC get their points here in Cape Town. And also think that the first half defense was bad, so yeah, they didn't stood up. And at the end was a bit too late when they tried to make that comeback from, they scored in the second half, about 20 points, but it was a bit too late.
Well, we've got a couple of highlights from the game, UWC against CUT. Let's take a look and see what happened. you go. That was, of course, UWC against CUT, and as you can see, it didn't quite go their way, but they managed to start picking up the points towards the end of the game there, Jerome. But that is what happened. I mean, it did look like CUT were going to run away with the game, but in the last 20 minutes, UWC had a massive comeback.
Yeah, they had a comeback because then, just after the break, then we emphasized again that we must play to our strength, and the strength is to play with the backs and mix it with the forwards. And in the beginning, especially the first half, we tried to play off 9 crash balls, and CUT has got a big pack of forwards, and they were quite jacked up around the rucks. So we tried to force our way through them. That was never the plan, and that's why the last 20 minutes they got back to their structure, and that's where the points coming to them.
One of the things that I noticed the players doing quite a lot of was a lot of straight running into a defensive player, and clearly the CUT guys were ready for that. If you're running straight into a player in today's game, you're going to, especially with the defensive structures getting better and better. And I think also emotionally, the Varsity Cup, Varsity Shield players, they want to show what they can do. So they will commit to the tackle. So the first time tackles were working every time. Surely we must be playing a little bit more into space.
That's exactly, JP, and that's also the reason why CUT has got all their turnovers, because the support players are not used to go clean. So they had to adapt and try to go clean, which was, then it was too late also, but that's not the type of rugby that UWC are known for to play. And the first 2 games here in Cape Town, in the first half we had our bonus points. And that's the way UWC play. So last night they just were totally off the game plan and on their own thing.
Yeah.
And so they make it difficult for themselves now. Next games are must wins.
Right, folks, let's take a look now at the logs in the Varsity Shield. Of course, we're hoping that UWC are going to come a little bit better, but of course slightly on the back foot now. After Monday night, we see that CUT are still on top. They're on 22 points, so they are very strong in the league. KZN on 16, UWC there, you see them in 3rd place on 12. Fort Hare is on 11 and TUT on 8 points. So those are your Varsity Shield logs and results, and of course we're hoping to see that the Varsity Shield guys at UWC have a couple more positive games. I know that their next away, or their next game at least as a bye before they play again. Time for us to take an ad break. When we come back, we'll start taking a look at what's happening in the Varsity Cup.
Get so much more for so much less at Tata Westenburg, like the new Super Ace 1-ton mini truck. Our special introductory offer begins at only $109,995 from only $1499 per month. With a 60,000 kilometer 3-year maintenance plan, the longest load body in its class, power steering, and so much more. The Super Ace mini truck is powered to take your business places. To find out more, SMS the words Super Ace to 32010 and one of our service consultants will be in touch. Terms and conditions apply.
Tata is a good buy for sure.
Get more fantastic deals on Evox products at Dis-Chem now. Grab a 1.9 kilogram Lean Pro diet shake plus 30 free GCC diet caps for only $3.99. With 21 grams of protein and only 2 grams of carbohydrates, Lean Pro is perfect for your low-carb diet. Build lean muscle mass with 2.6 kilograms of amino whey protein for only $449.95 and get a free creatine HCl. Get down to your nearest Dis-Chem now for more great deals on Evox products. Evox Advanced Nutrition is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers.
So don't forget, Evox competition coming up a little bit later in the show. We'll give you 2 sets of tickets as well as your Evox hamper. Coming up next, Varsity Cup results and logs. Let's take a look and see what happened in the results of the Varsity Cup late on Monday night. It was a UCT against Marties, a good win there for Marties. Bit of an intervarsity here, 37-15 win for Marties. Tuks 52-0 over Wits. NMMU beating FNB, UJ 20 points to 13, and Shimlers, another strong win for them in Bloemfontein, 38 points to 18. Jerome, some good results there for Marties. They would have looked for that win over UCT, and I think in this case they probably forgot all about the Varsity Cup. It was really an intervarsity.
Yeah, and also the atmosphere was like that, and that's why I think UCT really came out on the first half, and it was wasn't easy for Marties in the first half, but once they got going, then really everything just changed, and Marty's just was then second half was just one side on the field.
Yeah, Mr. H, you were at the game. What did you think?
I think, the UCT guys, they really played well in the first half. As Jerome said, second half, in fact, they were leading at one stage, just after half time. The Marty's machine, those guys really grinded the Aikies into the ground. And I must say that their backs, they know how to find the gaps on the field. They run into space all the time.
Yeah.
And that makes them a very dangerous side, because once you're in the space or just slightly through the space, it gives the guys the chance to, attack again from there. And they're on the front foot all the time. And I still, I must say again that Os Hamman, he's a...
Need a beers.
Yeah, he's a
Do you think that when we
He's a meneer daarvoor.
surely Os Hamman will play for Jerome? Will Os Hamman play for Province one day?
He played
Vodacom Cup.
he played Vodacom Cup, and he played under 21. So
So do you
He-
think that
he
when he does play, we're going to see a scenario of Os? Because I can't handle this beast. Like really, please, I would give anything to rather hear Os.
yeah, I think as Mr. H said, that he's really doing well, and for a big guy, he gets around and he do the business.
Morgs, how much of an impact would the fact that the UCT have lost Levi Woodendal? He went for an operation. I'm not sure what the injury was, but how much, and he's out for, apparently Mr. H was saying he's out for the whole season, Mr.
Yes.
H? How much of an impact would that be for UCT, losing your captain out for the whole season?
Look, James, with UCT already not being the most experienced side around, I think losing your captain so early on in the season is never easy. There's always a reshuffle, in captaincy and leadership roles, and guys, sort of who takes the leadership from there. So I think it's obviously not easy, and I think it's been showing in the UCT results. They're obviously not, still struggling to find their feet in terms of leadership and getting results. But again, I mean, the guys have been around for long enough now to know that every player is a leader in his own position, and guys need to stand up and it's with Levi being out, with another lock coming in, it's an opportunity for him to put up his hand and stake his claim, and I mean, they should be doing it at the moment.
Talking about locks, Marty's guys got some good locks there. Ranil Hugo, are we going to see anything from him in the future?
Yeah, also one of the guys that came through the ranks, played under 19, played under 21, he played Vodacom Cup also last year. And the reason why that guys are not in is because they have an agreement with Province, the Varsity Cup guys and the guys who are studying, to let them play as much as they can play Varsity Cup. So surely once their competition is finished and the Vodacom Cup need guys, they can easily knock on the door of Marty's and get some guys there.
So let me ask you that. I mean, I don't think a lot of people know that, is that if you're playing Varsity Cup or Varsity Shield, Western Province have made a concession. There's not going to be disadvantages to you that you're playing Varsity Cup or Varsity Shield. They're letting you sort of off for a while before you get back in the mix, and you're not going to lose out at the end of the day. That must be good for Western Province to have those players getting all that ground level experience.
Yeah, and we're fortunate, JP, with our club structures and the amount of clubs that we have. We can do it. There's not a lot of provinces that can do that. So we can do that, and especially guys, the non-contracted guys and youngsters who still qualify to play Varsity Cup. That's what we want. So it gives everybody a fair opportunity to play in a good competition. So the same with the Community Cup, Varsity Cup, and now Vodacom Cup is starting. We're fortunate to have a lot of players that we can choose from.
Do the scouts that you've got as yourself as head of talent identification at Western Province, do the scouts go to the Varsity Cup and Shield games, or is that out of bounds?
No, JP, we still got scouts, but we're still busy with getting in new guys or the same old guys or whatever. So we're still busy with that. But I mean, we know the players from 2 years ago. We've got a database of all the players. So it's very easy for us, and it's also easy because most of these games are on TV. So
I was going to ask you that. From a visual perspective, how much can you learn from watching a player on TV versus being on the side of the field? Does the TV help? I mean, is it good enough?
For me, JP, if I miss a game, it's basically the same. You can almost see, because you can see the replays, you can go back to plays and things like that. For me, it's easier to watch a game on TV and to really identify a good guy and talented guy and things like that. I normally get all the games, so I can see and I can have a look, so it's very easy.
You've of course got more angles, like you say, replays. You can look at one player, watch him again, look at another player, watch him again and again.
And some of what most of the clubs also have now in the Varsity Cup guys also have now. They've got this program called Stats Pro, so you can get all the stats also. So it's very easy.
Excellent stuff. Let's take a look now at the logs in the Varsity Cup. We'll see who's performing there. There you see Marty's. They're on 23 points. They're first on the log. Tuks are on 16, second place. UJ on 16. NMMU on 15. Pika on 14 in 5th place, and Shimla's on 12 points in 6th position. They've played 5 and lost 2, or at least, they've played 5. They've lost 3. Ikes have played 5 and have lost 4. They've drawn 1 as well, so unfortunately no wins for Ikes at the moment, and there you can see a massive points difference of minus 49, but nowhere near as bad as Wits, right at the bottom of the pile there. They've played 5, they've lost 5, and they have a points difference of minus 200. So things not going too well there for the Ikes, but those are your Varsity Cup logs. Let's take a look now at the Shield fixtures and see who's up against who. It's TUT are taking on Fort Hare at the Tut Stadium in Pretoria at 7 o'clock on Monday. And then, of course, CUT take on FNB KZN at the CUT Rugby Stadium in Bloemfontein, also at 7 o'clock. Of course, in your Varsity Cup fixtures, we see FNB NW against Pika, or at least Pika against FNB NMU in Potch at 5 o'clock, the kickoff there. It's UJ up against Tuks. It's Shimla's against UCT in Bloemfontein. So away game for UCT against Shimla's in Bloem, kickoff at 7. Wits are up against Marty's, and it's an away game for Marty's. Those are your Varsity Cup and Shield fixtures. It's a bye for UWC. So in fact, I think it's a bye pretty much for all of our local sides. Yeah, UCT playing away, Marty's playing away, UWC have got a bye. So if you're in the Cape Town area, we know you can take a bit of a breather. That's, of course, a wrap of our Varsity Cup and Shield fixture and feature. And we'll be back with you guys in a sec.
Get so much more for so much less at Tata Wistenburg. Like the new Super Ace 1-ton mini truck. Our special introductory offer begins at only 109,995 from only 1499 per month. With a 60,000 kilometer 3-year maintenance plan, the longest load body in its class, power steering, and so much more. The Super Ace mini truck is powered to take your business places. To find out more, SMS the words Super Ace to 32010 and one of our service consultants will be in touch. Terms and conditions apply.
Tata is a good buy for sure.
Get more fantastic deals on Evox products at Dis-Chem now. Grab a 1.9 kilogram Lean Pro diet shake plus 30 free GCC diet caps for only $3.99. With 21 grams of protein and only 2 grams of carbohydrates, Lean Pro is perfect for your low-carb diet. Build lean muscle mass with 2.6 kilograms of amino whey protein for only $449.95 and get a free creatine HCl. Get down to your nearest Dis-Chem now for more great deals on Evox products. Evox Advanced Nutrition is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers.
Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV. Wednesdays at 9. Time for us now to take a look at the Community Cup. Let's see what happened, of course, in the Community Cup. Round 3. Let's take a look at those results. Played on Saturday, the 3rd of March. It was there, Roses United going down to Selbornians. African Bombers losing to Pretoria Police. Griquas, well, it was a loss for them against SK Warmers. The Roodepoort team beating the Raiders 27 points to 24. Evergreens 28-24. Brakpan Dispatch 67-23 against the Bulk Villagers, and the Bloemfontein Police going down to Durbanville 95 points to 20, while the Impala Leopards 69-17 win for them over the Bloemfontein Crusaders. Jerome, massive win there. Almost actually, let me ask you, sorry, a massive win there for Durbanville. 95 points to 20 for Durbanville. What on earth is going on here?
It reminded me of the normal club championship.
Yeah.
Where teams from those areas would lose like that in the competition. And I see, I feared that would happen in this competition also.
But you wouldn't think of Police as a sort of a minnow side, or were they a wild card?
No,
No wild
they're
card.
the
They're
champions.
the champions, and they go and lose 95 points to 20 against Durbanville. I mean,
Maybe the police were quite busy in the week, you know. That
yeah,
they
maybe it
didn't
was a
train.
very quite of an action-packed weekend for them. Morgs, how does a team like that come and win 95 points to 20? You're two top teams in you. I mean, you've played in the club champs yourself. Durbanville just turning it on the day, or?
Yeah, look, James, it's a long travel for Durbanville, so the police, the Bloemfontein police really had no excuse, I don't think. And I think Ollie Leroux's involved with their forwards at the Bloemfontein police, and I'm sure he won't be too happy with that result. So, yeah, I don't know, either Durbanville just really turned it on, or Bloemfontein police must have been really shocking, but it wasn't televised, so yeah, I can't comment too much on that. But yeah, great win for Durbanville. It's a bonus point away from home. So yeah, they sort of definitely, cobwebs are out now from the first round, and it's definitely building towards what's going to be hopefully a playoff for them.
Jerome, a good win for SK Women's, 39-32 over Griquas there, or Shishin. Again, an away win. Again, you need those away victories.
Yeah, I've spoken to Labib Levy, who's involved with their coaching there, and he said it's quite a while for them. I mean, they took the bus, so it was quite a journey for them to get there. And to Kimberley, they stayed in Kimberley, and then from Kimberley it's another 3 hours to Sisson, to where they have to go play. And it's quite a bumpy ride also. So he said that they were...
Sisson is more, it's a mining community.
It's a mining community, yeah. And he said that all the people there, they wore their khaki clothes.
And hard hats.
Yeah, and big guys.
SK Women's Oaks must have been wondering what on earth. Waar
Waar
did we go?
klopt ze nog?
Waar is die klop ze nou is wat hulle nodig het. Ja, they must have thought we didn't get on a bus, we got on a time warp.
Yeah, and it's a very close community.
Yeah.
And yeah, but they said they struggle in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's really a good win for them. Them away win, win for them there. And yeah, the fields are hard, and it's they really didn't make it easy for them. So it's a really good win for them.
Let's take a look at the logs now. The logs, of course, in the Community Cup. There you see College Rovers in first place on 10 points. SK Woomers, sorry, this is in Pool A, folks, in case you're not aware of the fact that there are two different pools. SK Woomers in second place in Pool A, and then, of course, Dispatch, Villagers Worcester, and Shishin in fifth place. In Pool B, you see Durbanville nice and firmly ensconced in first place, followed by Pretoria Police. It was Welcome Rovers, African Bombers, and the Bloemfontein Police guys bringing it up in the end. Let's take a look at the fixtures now coming up in the Community Cup. That's on Saturday, the 9th of March. This coming Saturday, it's College Rovers taking on SK Woomers. SK Woomers once again playing in Durban. And of course, it looks like it's a bye for the Durban side there. So that's your important match that you want to look at. SK Woomers taking on College Rovers. Mr. H, you think Durban at least, going to be a tough match?
Oh yes, it will be. I mean, it's not easy to play that day. And they are playing the champion club.
College Rovers.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I see that in the match on Saturday, they were SK was 14 points behind at one stage. But the evergreen Zahir Kakalaki Rylands scored a brilliant try, and then that set off the movement. So hopefully, he can produce that kind of form that we know him of, and they can put a stop to the march of College Rovers, who will be, what would it be, the 86th game that they're playing with?
Unbeaten?
Yeah, lots of victories.
Lots of victories, yeah. Well, in fact, I saw Zaire Rylands at the Cape Town Tens, and he said he's doing a little bit of coaching now at SK with the kids. So I think it's great. I think it's great for him to see him back in the mix. And of course, a man who himself made a legendary appearance at Western Province Rugby and was quite a. He didn't really know where he was going to run. If he would take that outside gap, he was definitely gone. But folks, that is of course your Community Cup. And talking about club rugby, it is time once again to start looking at the season. The fixtures are out now, finally. So you can go up to the Western Province Club Rugby website and you'll see the fixtures. You can see who's playing against who. You'll find that on the Club Rugby website. They have now finally been released. Of course, adding to that, and now that the season starts proper quite soon, we need to make sure that we are 100% aware of what's happening in the club rugby scene, and we need to get the clubs out there to feed us the information. Now, one of the things that's happening at Western Province is, of course, the media seminar, the social media sponsorship and media seminar, where members of the clubs come to Western Province Rugby for educational purpose. So the next one is coming up on the 11th of March. That's this coming Monday. The seminar will include social media training, planning your events calendar, creating a viable sponsorship and entertainment solution at club level, building your database, and of course content dissemination on the social media platforms as well as to the media. So that's coming up this coming Monday. Make sure that if you're from a club and that you're interested in media, if you're interested in sponsorship, if you're interested in social media, that you approach your club to get them to send you to Western Province Rugby on Monday evening. And look out for your delegates and administrators who should have that information. Let me quickly touch on some of the topics that's going to be covered there. Social media training, very important. Do you know how to use Facebook? Do you know how to use Twitter? Are you busy spreading the photographs and the videos into those platforms? Are you building that space? Planning your events calendar. Do the people at your event, do they know, or at your club, do they know what's coming up next? What have you got on the calendar? Is it a fun run? Is it a fixture? Is it just a whole lot of fun? And of course, letting people know that those games are coming up. And then what's more is giving us that information so we can put it on TV for you. Thirdly, what you want to make sure is that you have got a package that you can sell to sponsors. So that's going to be covered. Well, look, have you got a database? Have you got a newsletter you can send your database? A database that you can send your newsletter to? What is it where you're sharing that information? And then, of course, content dissemination. How do you get it out to the media? What form it is that you get it out to the media? How do you put it on Cape Rugby TV? We're, of course, here to support your club. So make sure that you get down to the union, Western Province Rugby Union, on Monday night for that media seminar. I know that there's a bunch of regulars out there. Club rugby friendlies, yeah, we had a couple of club rugby friendlies over the weekend. One of the friendlies, of course, was Hamilton's against False Bay. And Morgan Newman played in the game, Hamilton's against False Bay. It was a kind of a repeat for False Bay. Last year, they played False Bay, and the Hamiltons played False Bay in the very first season. False Bay beat Hamiltons, only for things to go rather south for False Bay, where they ended up being relegated. And this season, it seemed to be the same thing again. False Bay beating Hamiltons in a friendly pre-season, although I think last year was maybe the opening game. What went wrong for Hammies?
No, James, look, I think Hamiltons are still about a month and a half away from the first game of the league. So I think there's still a lot of building and preparation that's going into it. So Hamilton's played with two different teams for the first and second half. So obviously, still a little bit rusty and that kind of thing. Only played one game against the Western Province side. So lots of work. Obviously, the False Bay side came out very motivated, and I must say there's some really good rugby players that False Bay have managed to keep this year. So I think they'll do really well in Super League B, and I'm sure they'll be back up pretty soon.
What did you make of the win? I mean, the win definitely seems to make a difference at False Bay.
No, look, James, in Constantia, when the wind it blows, and it really does blow. And what's often happens is it blows sort of parallel to the field. So you really do have an advantage when the wind's at your back, and you really had a massive disadvantage when the wind's sort of at in your face. So yeah, I mean, False Bay did really well when they had the wind with them, and Hamilton's just played really poorly when they had the wind behind their back. So lots of work for Hamilton's, and False Bay have sort of a lot to work on. I think a lot to look forward to.
Last week we saw some interesting action, or at least last year we saw some interesting coincidence that False Bay came along with a victory. They ended up getting relegated, and then we saw Hamilton's having a pretty good season. This year it seemed to be a repeat. We were out at the game. It was a big game for Justin van Winkel, who was the captain of False Bay. Him captaining, I think, his 50th match, and some of the boys from Wynberg out there to support their captain from their Wynberg Boys High School. But things didn't go the way for Hamilton's over the weekend, and I'm sure they will be looking to make an improvement. Let's see what happened in the highlights of Hamilton's up against False Bay at Hamilton's. Friendlies, of course, over the weekend as well. Mr. H, it was Rugby Day at Kraaifontein. We covered that last year. Kraaifontein, Helderberg, Milnerton, number of games out there. Scottsdene, I think, I'm not sure if Scottsdene was Van der Stel. Yes, that's right. They played last year. They came out again this year. I think last year Belleville was there.
They were there again.
Yeah, because that was the year, of course, that I actually saw Koos with the hot dog, you know, and he was giving me a hard time, you know. But I'll see him again.
They were there again. But there were no hot dogs this time.
No hot dogs? No. What? Mr. H, what have you got to say about that?
It's just well I wasn't there.
Yeah.
What they did have was jumping castles. What they did have was jumping castles. I saw their poster, and I saw jumping castles big in yellow writing at the bottom of their poster. So
but we mustn't
I'm sure Mr. H was down there.
The jumping castles. Forget all the other things.
Well, you started this thing, but yeah, well done to Willie Collins and Adu and Hichu and the guys at Kraaifontein, always putting on a big day there. So a couple more friendlies, of course, this weekend. Of course, it's Scottsdene against Hand and Heart. You might want to get out there. That's going to be a massive one. So go check that out. Scottsdene's against Hands and Heart this weekend. We'll try and cover that match. And then, of course, don't forget, on Saturday, it's the Stormers up against the Chiefs. Coming up shortly, we'll give you the opportunity, win for yourself a set of double tickets and an Evox hamper. That's coming up in a couple of minutes' time. Vodacom Cup is about to kick off. It is round one. Let's take a look at some of the fixtures now in the Vodacom Cup. Of course, the most important one there we're looking at is the first opening match in round one. It is the Boland Cavaliers up against DHL Western Province. They're playing at Wellington, so it's an away game. That's on a Saturday. The other matches there, of course, the Sharks against the Bulldogs, SV Adir against the Cheetahs, against Free State. The Pumas take on the Falca. The Golden Lions take on the Leopards. The Crickets against the Bulls. Limpopo take on the Griffins, and it's the Kings, the Eastern Province Kings. Remember, that's a different team. Take on the Pampas from Argentina, and they're playing in Port Elizabeth. Time for us to take an ad break, folks. When we come back, it's time for us to take a look at Super 15. Super Rugby coming up next.
Get so much more for so much less at Tata Wistenburg, like the new Super Ace 1-ton mini truck. Our special introductory offer begins at only $109,995 from only $1499 per month. With a 60,000 kilometer 3-year maintenance plan, the longest load body in its class, power steering, and so much more. The Super Ace mini truck is powered to take your business places. To find out more, SMS the words Super Ace to 32010 and one of our service consultants will be in touch. Terms and conditions apply.
Tata is a good buy for sure.
Get more fantastic deals on Evox products at Dis-Chem now. Grab a 1.9 kilogram Lean Pro diet shake plus 30 free GCC diet caps for only $3.99. With 21 grams of protein and only 2 grams of carbohydrates, Lean Pro is perfect for your low-carb diet. Build lean muscle mass with 2.6 kilograms of amino whey protein for only $449.95 and get a free creatine HCl. Get down to your nearest Dis-Chem now for more great deals on Evox products. Evox Advanced Nutrition is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers.
Here we go, folks. It is now time for us to look at Super 15. This is what we've been waiting for. Super 15 fever is upon us this weekend. The Stormers take on the Chiefs. Everybody's getting back to Newlands. A lot of Springboks back in. The Stormers have had a little bit of a rough ride in the opening games, but now they're back at Newlands and it is going to be exciting. Let's take a look at the results over the weekend and see who did what. It was the Blues against the Crusaders. A victory there for the Blues. Who would have expected that? The Waratahs 31-26 over the Rebels. The Reds 18-12 over the Hurricanes. The Chiefs over the Cheetahs 45 points to 3, and the Bulls 36-26 over the Force, while the Sharks beat the Stormers by a measly 6 points. Your results didn't look too great there for all of the teams, but I mean, who would have said? Let's start at the beginning there. Jerome, 34 points to 15 win over the Crusaders. That was a big win. A lot of people thought the Crusaders was going to take this.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big surprise for everybody, especially that margin of win. But the Blues really, they look like especially with the new laws and things like that. They look like a side that really studied that and prepared well pre-season according to the laws and things. The way they play, I mean, they keep position, and if they're in the opposition 22, you can for sure that steppers, they'll score. So they'll get their points. So that was a really great game. Crusaders tried, but I mean, they couldn't with what the Blues had.
Mr. Eitzer, Waratahs 31-26 over the Rebels.
Yeah, I had that right. So
You had that one right?
yeah, I think that was the only one I had right.
What do you think of the game?
No, it was a great game. I think, you know, the Waratahs they will show that a few of the other teams will also be at their mercy later on. But the Rebels, I think, you know, somehow or other they don't really finish off what they're doing. I thought at one stage they're gonna easily win the game. But the Waratahs, I think, will stop a few other teams also.
The Reds and the Hurricanes. Morgs, I really thought the Hurricanes were going to come through. I know the Reds are a great side, but we've seen the Hurricanes do better and better.
Yeah, James, the Hurricanes and the Crusaders remind me very much of each other because they're always slow starters in the competition, and as the season starts going, so the wheel starts to turn. But yeah, I mean, the Reds will obviously be very happy with that result. You know, at home, they expect to take the points there. I think they would have liked the bonus point, which they didn't get. They pushed for it in the end, but didn't get it. So, yeah, good result for the Reds and the Hurricanes away from home. Bonus point also, you know, just at 1 point. I suppose they're not too unhappy.
Well, I tell you, the one that really killed me was, I've seen the Cheetahs travel, and sometimes I'm convinced, I'm not a big Cheetahs fan, but I'm sometimes convinced that they have shown us that they lose all their home games, then they go overseas, and all of a sudden they pull a rabbit in the hat. And I don't know, maybe the Jean Smith retirement, falling out of the bus altogether, maybe that's had an impact. The Chiefs really just showed them what rugby was about. 45-3, Mr.
Yeah, but the Cheetahs were in the game. You know, they kept them at bay for about 20 odd minutes. And then suddenly, you know, things turned pear-shaped. But the Chiefs,
you know, that
is a
doesn't
fantastic team.
that doesn't really sound great. That means they kept them at bay for 25% of the game. That means that they were overpowered for 75% of the game.
Yeah, wow, but they were in the end, you know. But I think the Chiefs really showed, you know, what's it all about.
Yeah, quality side, absolute quality side. Your feels more?
No, James, I must say, the Cheetahs, I mean, yes, I think they're really one of the best attacking sides that South Africa is producing. And I think if the Cheetahs can swap attacking coach and defensive coach with the Stormers, I think you'll have a remedy that will really be hard to beat. So, now the Cheetahs away from home, it's obviously a side that go on tour and they really enjoy themselves and they play good rugby, but not getting the result. And 45-3, I don't think is a good reflection of what the actual game was all about.
It's interesting what you said about swapping the Stormers' defensive coaches and so forth. I mean, Jacques Niedauber, who's at the Stormers, used to be the Cheetahs' defensive coach. So maybe there's your point. You know, they've lost out.
No, look, I mean, I must say, with the way the Cheetahs attack, they really, if they can get the defense right, I really think that they'll be one of the better sides that Africa can produce because their attacking skills is just unbelievable. I mean, Jan Goosen at fly off.
Yeah.
It's only his second game back and he's starting to play some decent rugby again. And their backline, as soon as the backline starts firing, then they really start, you know, looking dangerous. So play with lots of width. So a good side to watch. I mean, they may not get the results, but the entertainment factor is definitely there when you watch them play.
Another game that had me on the edge of my seat was the match the Bulls against the Force. Watching the Force play against the Kings the previous week, I would have thought that the Bulls would have a much bigger margin, but for a while there, it looked like the Force were in the mix. Jerome, 36-26, maybe those couple of injuries at the Bulls is already starting to show, and the embarrassment of the Force losing to the Kings also starting to show.
I think the Bulls were a bit relaxed after that. The Kings that wasn't supposed to win a game beat the Force, and also they beat them quite convincingly. So I think the Bulls got caught there with easy game, but they were lucky. They were lucky to get away with the win there, and also last 6 minutes, that bullying tactics of the Bulls worked for them. I mean, 2 tries of mauls where they maul from the 22 meters and they just keep possession and managed to win the game like in the last 5 minutes actually. The Force were really looked like they were going to come upset. But I must say, heads off to the Bulls. I mean, they managed to get a win there at home. And
The one we were all watching though, and were really, really praying for a victory was the Sharks and the Stormers, 12 points to 6. unfortunately, it was down to the wire, and I must say it looked like a real derby match. Two teams who were equally matched, two teams with the same type of skills, two teams really putting it up on the line to the same level. I think the dew factor leveled everything as well, Morgs.
Yeah, James, look, to go play at 7 o'clock in the evening in Durban is never easy. I don't think people realize how slippery and how greasy that ball really gets. But I mean, I'm sure the Stormers guys would have been prepared for that. They would have probably trained all week with some sort of methods where you rub a little bit of sunlight liquid on the ball and maybe train with it like that just to, sort of reciprocate what you're going to get in Durban. But yeah, I mean, two very evenly matched sides, and I think in the end of the day, the Sharks just got it purely because they were at home and a little bit more sort of prepared for the conditions.
But Mr. H, your feeling, Elton Jantjies, did he come in a little bit? Was he looking a little bit more comfortable in the
Yes, I think he was more comfortable, and I mean the cross kick that he gave to Joe, it was perfect. Unfortunately, but I would like to say, in matches like this that we know is close, then the call must be dare to do. If you dare to do something, then you will make that break there. But if you just play, very, very, very conservative, then nothing is going to happen. The score will be close quarter score, and everybody goes away and is happy. But I think in that game, somebody needed to break the shackles off.
Once again, the defensive line's just showing how difficult it is. Everyone has come up to a certain level. The defense is just so tight. And to turn that around, I mean, Jerome, just goes to show what Mr. H said here. He's saying, take your opportunities. But if you don't take opportunities, you've lost an opportunity. So the importance of not making a mistake. I know that the likes of Nick Mallett say, listen, you can't overcoach a side and you can't just make them play conservative rugby and that. But definitely one thing you can't do in this format against a team like that is make a mistake, because it's turnover and they score.
Yeah, they score or make a mistake. We got penalised twice in the scrum, and Lemby just slowed it over.
Yeah.
I mean, halftime, 0-0 at halftime. That's actually the true reflection of the game. I mean, it's on defense, and it is not like the guys were not attacking. The Sharks defend well, the Stormers defended well, and it was really, really, really hard, and it was like close to test level the way the guys were playing. It wasn't, and actually you could see the Sharks thought that they're gonna bully the Stormers forward, but they stood up. They stood up to it, and I just think that the difference between the game was that 2 penalties in the scrum that we gave away at the end, that made the difference. I think 9-9 would have been a true reflection of the game for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it was a tough game all round. It's going to be interesting to see what the Chiefs do at Newlands over the weekend. Are they going to be able to step up against the Stormers on home ground? I think Stormers are going to have a different game altogether. But we do know that that's going to be an exceptionally tough match. The Chiefs are a very, very good side. So it's going to be interesting. Let's take a look now at the full logs and see who's at the top, who's at the bottom. Firmly on the top, it's the Brumbies, then the Chiefs, the Bulls, the Blues, the Sharks, and the Reds, and the Kings are in 7th place after just one match. Cheetahs right at the bottom, the Force, the Hurricanes, and the Stormers towards the bottom. In your conference log in the South African Conference, we see the Bulls on the top, the Sharks, the Kings, the Stormers in 4th place, and of course the Cheetahs right at the bottom there. In the New Zealand Conference, the Chiefs, the Blues, the Highlanders, the Crusaders, and the Hurricanes, while in the Australian Conference, it's the Brumbies, the Reds, the Waratahs, the Rebels, and the Force. Right, folks, time for you to get an opportunity to go watch the Mighty Chiefs against the Mighty Stormers at the Mighty Newlands. Of course, once again, you get an opportunity to win for yourself an Evox hamper, and this week we include for you a set of double tickets to go and watch the Chiefs against the Stormers. And once again, that Evox hamper, this time we're coupling the two. Evox giving you 2 tickets as well as the Evox hamper. And so the first product, of course, is the Saito Crank. This is your rugby pack, folks. Saito Crank for before a match, before a training session. Super Carbo for during the match. You sip on that. And then your Rapid Recovery. This is your Rapid Recovery. You take this after your matches, after your training sessions, after your gym sessions, and this helps you recover so you can get into the next session. There's your rugby hamper, the before, during, after, and you can win for yourself this if you just tell us who is the official sports nutrition supplier to the DHL Stormers and Western Province Rugby. 33280, that's the number you're looking for. You can see it on your screen right now. 33280, and you can win yourself the Evox hamper as well as a set of double tickets to go and watch the Chiefs against the Stormers. Let's take a look now at last week's winner, winning for themselves an Evox rugby pack. And of course, congratulations there to Conrad Croy. Conrad told us correctly who the official sports nutrition supplier is to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers, and Conrad wins for himself a Evox rugby pack. Congratulations, Conrad. The prizes will be on its way to you shortly. Let's take a look at the fixtures coming up now over the weekend in the Super 15. On Friday, it's the Hurricanes taking on the Crusaders in Wellington. It's the Rebels and the Reds in Melbourne. The Highlanders take on the Chiefs, or at least the Cheetahs in Invercargill. The Brumbies and the Waratahs in Canberra. The Stormers take on the Chiefs home ground at Newlands in Cape Town. It's the Southern Kings against the Sharks in PE. And it's the Blues against the Bulls in Auckland. So the Bulls start to travel. It's going to be kind of exciting. Super Brew, how did you do over the weekend? Did you go up? Did you go down? What exactly were your predictions? Let's take a look now at our players and our posers and see who did what. This week's player was Sterkus. Congratulations, Sterkus. You are the Super Brew Cape Rugby TV panel pool yellow cap holder currently, and the poser, the guy who knows nothing about rugby and sits on the couch and poses, Carlo, dropping more than anybody else. Sitting on the couch, knows nothing about rugby. Congratulations, Sterkus, you are in the mix so far. Keep it going, and you could be putting yourself in the mix to win a signed DHL Stormers jersey. Second prize is, of course, 2,000 Rands worth of Evox products, and third prize is 1,000 Rands worth of Evox Advanced Nutrition Supplements. Gentlemen, I'm unfortunately going to have to do this, as much as I hate to do it. Jerome, by the way, in case you didn't see last week's show, even though the show is uploaded to YouTube and so forth, you were last week's yellow cap winner. So congratulations. Very, very well done.
Well done. Thank you very much.
I'm this week going to join Carlo in the person who knows nothing about rugby. Die ou wat sê bek gerek die meeste. So that's me. I drop more than anybody else. I feel embarrassed. I feel shy. You know, I won't say much about it, but you know, I'll take it on the chin. I'll take my medicine. Because heavens knows I'll give it back when the wheel turns. But this week's Super Brew yellow cap winner is Morgan Newman.
Hey!
Congratulations, Morgs.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, well done, buddy. You climbed the rankings more than anybody
Japes,
else.
you want to tell people where you're lying on the rankings, Japes?
No, I'd rather not tell you where I'm lying in the rankings.
Can I put this cap on?
Yeah. But incidentally, what I can tell you though is that I'm not last in the celebrity pool. I might have dropped the most, but I'm not last in the celebrity pool. I'm not going to tell you who's last in the celebrity pool, other than to tell you that last week he had a yellow cap on. It's unbelievable how hot and cold you can blow in this game. You think you're in the mix, and the next thing you know, it's ina. Yeah. So we're not going to do the Super Brew predictions in score phrase this time. I know people sometimes look at our scores, because I think we're at a little bit of a disadvantage. So I'm just going to ask you how you think the game, when you put your own specific score in, just before the first game this weekend. So we'll just go through the run there. Morgs, Hurricanes and Crusaders.
Yeah, Crusaders, JP. I think it's going to be a slow. Like I said earlier, both slow starters. But yeah, the Crusaders. Just if you look at that team on paper, it's unbelievable. And if those guys pull it together, they'll definitely pull it out, get a good result there. So I'm going to go Crusaders there. I won't give you my score margin just yet. I'll wait till later in the week. I'll wait till Thursday, tomorrow or Friday. But yeah, I'll go Crusaders for that game.
Of course, I don't know, Jerome, Crusaders?
No, JP, I'm always conservative, but this time I'm going with the Hurricanes. Home ground, and the Hurricanes, they can also, on the day, if they switch on, they can do magic.
Crusaders.
Crusaders, but you're a Crusaders fan.
Yeah, no, I think they're better than the Hurricanes.
No, you're not a Crusaders fan?
No.
Okay,
no.
All right. Morgs?
I've already said, JP, I said Crusaders.
I mean Rebels and Reds.
Rebels, Reds. After the Reds' performance last weekend, and the Rebels not doing too well, I'm going to go Reds.
You can take that cap off now, really.
I'm really enjoying wearing this cap, JP. So I think I'll keep it until the end of the show.
All right, you can keep it.
Can I keep it right here anyway?
You are a cap lover. We've seen you out. You can't do anything but wear a cap. All right, so Rebels and the Reds. Jerome?
I'll go Reds.
Mr. H?
Reds.
Highlands stake on the Cheetahs. Morgs?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I like the way the Cheetahs are playing. I'll go Highlanders, JP.
Churro.
JP, you know where Invercargill is?
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's in Scotland.
It's the end of the world.
It's the end of the world.
It's where everything stops. I promise you, I've been a couple of times, I've been there. That's where everything stops.
Right.
So I'll go Highlanders.
But okay, I'm not going to ask you. It's going to be big. Mr. H.
Islanders.
Islanders. Brumbies take on the Warriors in Canberra. Morgs.
Brumbies under Jake White are already playing good rugby, so I'm going to go Brumbies.
Jerome.
Yeah, I'll go Brumbies also.
Brumbies, yes.
Brumbies also, yeah. Okay. The Stormers take on the Chiefs in Newlands. At Newlands, so it's going to be home ground. Advantage. Stormers, Chiefs, Morgs.
Why is Mr. H laughing at me like that?
I don't know, because you look
No,
funny.
look, look at
He was going to say Chiefs and then he
No, I'd never go against the Stormers. I'm a big Stormers fan.
Yeah.
So I'm going
keep
to
it
go
like that.
Stormers by 2.
John?
It's not Varsity Cup. I'll go Stormers. I think Stormers are a bit where the Sharks were last year, and also losing their first 2 games. But I think Stormers definitely need to win, so they'll get the points there. Stormers.
Stormers.
Stormers as well.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Kings against the Sharks in Port Elizabeth. Morgs.
Where are you going, JP?
Yeah,
I can't believe you guys.
Anything.
he hasn't made a single prediction.
This one. Yeah.
I was fine for 5 rounds.
Just this
And
one.
not one of you stopped me to say, what's your prediction? I nearly got through them all without saying anything. All right, the Stormers and the Chiefs. Of course I'm going for the Stormers, and I think we're going to have. Well, I don't think we're going to have a massive marginal win there, but, you know, Alistair's very smart, and I think we're going to have a win. It's the Kings against the Sharks. Morgs.
Chase, I think the Kings got a good result against the Force, but I don't think they can keep it up for too much longer. So I'm going to go, I think the Sharks might take about quite a big margin there, actually.
Jerome.
Sharks.
Sharks.
Yeah, I must say I'm going with the Sharks. At the moment, I'm not feeling much love for the Kings. Don't think I ever will. I'm kind of feeling, you know, that the Kings supporters themselves are going to have to... if the Kings supporters boo the Sharks this round, okay, guys, I'm going to be very unhappy. Very unhappy. The Southern Kings, if you're out there and you're watching, you're from PE, okay, please don't be booing the Sharks. It's not necessary. The Blues take on the Bulls in Auckland. Morg.
Just after the Bulls' performance against the Force and the fact that they travelled and the way the Blues are playing at the moment, you got to go Blues.
Jerome.
I think Blues are definitely going to be in the finals of the Super Rugby, so I'll go Blues.
Blues, huh?
Blues. Rightio. Blues and Bulls in Auckland. Yeah, I must say, I'll have to go with the Blues. I agree with you guys on that. It's certainly looks like it is in their favour at the moment. They seem to have their tails up. Morgs, what will Alistair be concentrating on this week? Considering that things didn't go their way against the Sharks, but we saw what they can do. What are the kind of things that he'll be focusing on at Newlands?
Look, Judge, to be honest, I think that we all know the Stormers can defend really well, and we know that the Chiefs are really good attacking sides. I think they'd have put a bit of emphasis on that for the week. But I think Alistair will be trying to get rid of the shackles now. 2 games into the season, I think Alistair will be focusing on hopefully getting the guys to express themselves a little bit more.
Yeah.
And with a packed house at Newlands, the crowd quickly get behind the Stormers, and we expect a full house at Newlands as it always is every Super 15 game. So I think he'll be putting a lot of emphasis on the guys expressing themselves and really throwing the ball around and having some fun. I think once we see that and we see the confidence back in the Stormers side, I think they'll be a force to reckon with.
Jerome, your feeling, Alistair, obviously, I think, echoing what Morgan has said there, he would have taken a few notes out of the Bulls game. He would have taken a few notes out of the Sharks game. The players still, it's only 2 games. Nothing to panic about, a long way to go.
No, definitely, and it's a home game. First home game for the Stormers, and I mean you can't afford to lose your home games. And also, I know the crowd behind the guys here, and I think it's going to be pretty much a battle for me up front. If we can manage to dominate up front and keep possession, we know the Chiefs, they've got a great back line, and I think we mostly in the lineouts. If our emphasis on lineouts, kick the ball out, get the line out, keep possession, then we in for a big thing. So I think for me it's about up front, taking the game to them up front and just smash them and keep possession.
Mr. H, a lot of tickets sold so far. A lot of people
Yes,
expected.
we're expecting in the vicinity of about 40 odd thousand.
And we know in Cape Town, we know that they tend to come late. They buy the tickets late. It'll be.
You know, the Chiefs hasn't played here since 2009,
Yeah.
and they're the champions. So a lot of people will come in to see them. You know.
Going to be very exciting. Right, folks, it is an opportunity for you to win that Evox amp, but don't forget you can win yourself a set of double tickets to go watch the Stormers take on the Chiefs. 33280, just tell us who is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. Don't forget then also on Monday, it is the media lecture. That comes up on Monday night at Newlands. Just look out for the newsletter from the delegates at your club, social media, sponsorship, and of course, quite a bit of other information in terms of creating databases and that. So if you're the media man or girl at your club, or even if you're just a passionate rugby junkie at your club, why don't you come and join us then for that seminar? And that is a wrap from us. Hope you've had a fantastic Rugby Wednesday. Have a great rugby weekend. To my panel, Morg, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, JP. Good to be here again.
Jerome.
Thanks, JP.
Mr. H.
Thank you, sir. It was nice being here.
Was nice. There we go, folks. That's a wrap. Have a great rugby weekend. Bye-bye.